And here's the second part on a road to recovery on women's soccer player Rayshawna Campbell.
What we do for diagnosing a concussion is we have 3 different tests that we give. We do symptomology, which are all the symptoms that a concussion will bring up for an athlete, and every athlete is different. And then we also do the SAC test, which is just concentration, memory, and questions, just to see where they're at, if they can remember just some basic questions about their life, who they are, even some retrograde, so where did they come from, things like that. And then we do a balance test, so just to see where their coordination is at and see if there's any difference between their baseline testing, which we do before season, compared to when they actually get the injury. So treating a concussion, it depends on every person. The biggest thing that we need them to do is rest. That is the brain needs to rest because it's sustained an injury. So what we advise the athletes to do is just to go home and sit in the dark, pretty much do nothing. They're not allowed to be on their electronics, watch TV, play video games, texting on the computer or anything like that, because that stimulates a lot of brain activity, and that will create, it will make it difficult for the actual injury to heal. And then once they start to become symptom-free, then we begin our 7-day process into returning to play. So then we have to take them through various activities, such as, just the basic conditioning, and then we'll work our way up to provocative testing, which could be, depending on the sport, sit-ups, push-ups, burpees, things like that, and weightlifting, and then we will get into sport-specific if they're asymptomatic every single day.
And I was out for about 2 months, and after the experience of actually getting the concussion, I couldn't believe it because that was my first one.
Every concussion is different, so it could be as little as a couple hours to as long as a couple months to a year. So depending on how significant the injury is and how bad their symptoms are will depend on how long it takes for them to recover.
Having to stay out for 2 months, we're still in season, and having to travel was very hard. And then seeing my team practice when we were in the spring was even harder. But being able to come back, step by step, Rosie in the training room helped me. We went through a 7-day process. I ended up getting to, I think, day 4 until I started getting symptoms again. So I had to start over, unfortunately. And then after that, we just took the steps a little slower, and I ended up getting back into the spring games.
Anytime you get your first concussion, you are more susceptible to get another concussion. So it does increase your chances of sustaining another one.
I haven't had a concussion since then, because after you get one, it's more easier to get more and more, and they'll just get worse from the first one. So we try, it's hard in soccer to say you're not going to use your head, because that's not, you have to use your head most of the time in soccer. So just making sure that if I do have symptoms that I need to say something, because if my concussions could get worse than my first one, then it's going to be horrible. Mm-hmm.
Soccer, a lot of headers, and some people when they go up for headers, hit heads and collide. And then, with the tripping, things like that, you can easily get a knee to the head or a foot to the head. And so you always have to be aware that that is something that can occur, and you just need to know the signs and symptoms to look out for.
After getting the concussion, this season I'm more cautious when balls are in the air and me and a player are both coming at it. I'm more thinking, instead of winning the first ball, if I know that it's going to be an ugly collision, then I will back off. Maybe my opponent can get the first ball and I win the second ball after it's on the ground. So I can avoid the head-on collision. Like crosses, sometimes they even from my teammate, sometimes I'm not hitting that because it's like a full-on 100 miles per hour. I'm not hitting that.
I thought maybe that she would be a bit hesitant as a player, but she has not shown any signs of lasting effects from the injury or the way the injury took place. I don't think you'd be able to tell if you didn't know about her past.
I actually think I'm 100% better. Sometimes if I catch a ball wrong, sometimes it's likely that it's gonna hurt. It's not like concussion hurt, it's more like I just got hit in the head and the ball hurt.
Thank you for watching this week's edition of the Black and Gold Report. Until next week, go Braves.